Hello, friends. Imagine checking your bank account on the day your Social Security payment usually lands. You've planned around that number for years, but this time, half of it is gone. Not a few dollars, half. No phone call, no warning, just less money. And here's the part that should make every one of us pay attention. Social Security can do this even when the mistake was theirs, not yours. As of this past spring, Social Security quietly went back to an old aggressive rule. If they decide they paid you too much at any point, even years ago, even by their own error, they will now automatically take 50% of your monthly check. Every single month. Until the debt is paid back in full. And most seniors have no idea this is even happening. I'm Masha. I've spent more than 20 years helping American retirees protect their benefits. And in the next half hour, I'm going to show you exactly what this rule is, who it hits, and the 3 simple steps you need to take right now to protect your check. Stay with me all the way to step 3. Because that's where I'll show you the one mistake that even people who follow every rule still make. And it is costing seniors up to $1,200 a month. Let me start with a story. Because this is not just numbers on a page, this is real people at real kitchen tables, just like yours. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 68 years old. He lives in Ohio. He worked his whole life, 30-some years as a maintenance supervisor at a local school district. He retired, he started collecting his Social Security, about $2,400 a month. And Robert did everything right. He paid his taxes, he never missed a deadline. He's the kind of man who reads the instructions before he plugs anything in. One afternoon, Robert got a letter from Social Security, official envelope, government seal, and when he opened it, the letter said he had been overpaid. It said he owed back several $1,000s, and it demanded, in that cold official language, full and immediate repayment. Now, here's what went through Robert's mind. And I want you to listen closely, because I'll bet you would think the exact same thing. Robert thought, this has to be a mistake. I never did anything wrong. I reported everything. This is probably one of those scams I keep hearing about. Or some computer error. It'll sort itself out. So Robert did what felt completely reasonable. He set the letter aside. He didn't call. He didn't appeal. He figured if it was real, they'd contact him again. 90 days went by. And then, on his next payment date, Robert's $2,400 check came in at $1,200. Half of it, gone, and it stayed that way the next month, and the month after that, because once those 90 days passed with no response, Social Security started taking 50% automatically, and it keeps taking it until the entire balance is repaid. Now here's the most painful part. The overpayment. It wasn't even Robert's fault. It came from a processing delay on their end, and Robert had every right to appeal it, or even have it forgiven completely. But because he treated that letter like junk mail, he lost the window to stop it before it started. It was completely avoidable. And Robert is not alone. According to Social Security's own Inspector General, payment errors like this affect a huge number of people every single year. The agency sends out around $1.4 trillion in payments to about 73 million Americans. So even when the error rate is small, the number of real people getting these letters is enormous. Robert is one of thousands. So let's break down exactly what's going on here. I'm going to walk you through this in 4 pieces. Slow and clear. No jargon without an explanation, I promise. Here's what Social Security actually says, in plain words on their own website. If you don't pay them back within 30 days of the date on your notice, they will automatically withhold 50% of your benefit each month until the overpayment is repaid. In plain English, that means this. If they think they gave you too much money, they will start clawing back half of your monthly check. Not a small slice. Half. And they'll keep doing it every month, for as long as it takes to get all of it back. If the debt is large, that could be many months. It could be years. So what you should do because of this fact is simple. Never, ever ignore a letter from Social Security, even if you're certain it's wrong. Especially if you're certain it's wrong. Now let me show you how we got here, because the timeline matters. The official record goes like this. On March 7th of last year, Social Security announced it was going back to taking 100% of your check, your entire payment, to recover overpayments. Then, less than 2 months later, on April 25th, they issued an emergency message and cut that down to 50% for retirement, survivors, and disability benefits. In plain English, that means the rule about how much they can grab from you flipped 3 times in about 100 days. It went from 10% up to 100%, then settled at 50%. And here's the kicker. None of that required a vote in Congress. No new law, just internal policy memos. Decisions made in an office that changed how much money lands in your bank account. And there's one more piece of the timing you have to understand, because this is where that "starting this July" headline comes from. When they send you a notice, they give you a 90-day grace period before they start taking the money. So for the notices that went out in the spring, the actual cuts to people's checks started hitting in late July. That's the part nobody warned folks about. The letter arrives quietly in April or May, and then 3 months later, bam, your check is cut in half. So what you should do because of this fact: the moment a notice arrives, mark 90 days from that date on your calendar. That is your clock. That is your deadline. We'll come back to it. Now here is the part that most people, including financial advisors, get completely wrong. Most folks assume that if the overpayment was Social Security's mistake, then surely they can't come after you for it. That feels like common sense, doesn't it? If they made the error, they should eat the cost. But here's the truth, straight from the source. Social Security can take that money back from you even when the overpayment was entirely their own fault. Even if a clerk made a mistake, even if their computer system was slow, even if you spent that money in good faith years ago, never knowing anything was wrong. The law actually requires them to come after it, and it does not matter who caused the error. Read that again in your mind. It does not matter whose fault it was. As AARP has documented, a great many of these clawbacks come from Social Security's own delays and data errors. And yet it's the retiree, it's you, whose check gets cut in half. That feels deeply unfair, and honestly, it is. But knowing this is power, because it tells you something critical. You cannot count on them to fix it for you. You have to act to protect yourself. Nobody is coming to do it for you. So what you should do because of this fact is the most important thing I'll say today. Assume you have to defend yourself and do it inside that 90-day window. Now let's talk about who this hits hardest. Here's what the numbers tell us. If you're collecting the average retirement benefit, somewhere around $1,900 to $2,000 a month, a 50% cut takes roughly $950 to $1,000 right out of your pocket every month. If your benefit is $2,400, like Robert's, you lose $1,200 a month. In plain English, that means the bigger your check, the bigger the bite. And for most retirees, that money isn't extra. It's the rent, it's the mortgage, it's groceries and the electric bill and the prescriptions. Losing half of it isn't an inconvenience. For a lot of people, it's a genuine emergency. This applies to retirement benefits, survivors' benefits. That's money a widow or widower receives. And Social Security disability insurance. There's one piece of good news worth noting. If you're on Supplemental Security Income, often called SSI, that's the program for folks with very low income and resources. Your rate stays at just 10%, not 50%. So what you should do because of this fact, know which benefit you're on, and know that if it's retirement, survivors, or disability, you are squarely in the path of this rule. All right, this is the part I really need you to hear, because this is what actually protects you. You are not helpless. You have rights, real, official, government-guaranteed rights. And acting on any one of them stops the clock. It pauses the collection while they review your case. In their own words, they will not collect the money until they make a decision on your request. So here is your 3-step action plan. Just 3 steps. Write them down. Each one is free. Each one takes just a few minutes. Step 1. Call them. The moment that letter arrives, pick up the phone and call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213. That number again, slowly, 1-800-772-1213. Or you can walk into your local Social Security office. Tell them you received an overpayment notice and you want to discuss your options. This takes about 10 or 15 minutes and it is completely free. Do not wait. Do not think about it. The clock is already running from the date on that letter. Step 2. Choose your form and file it within 90 days. You have 3 options depending on your situation. If you believe you were never overpaid or the amount is wrong, you file Form SSA 561, the request for reconsideration. That's an appeal. If the overpayment wasn't your fault and you simply can't afford to pay it back, you file Form SSA 632, the request for waiver of overpayment recovery (EO). And if they grant it, you could owe nothing at all. And if you accept that you owe the money but taking half your check would cause real hardship, you file Form SSA-634, the request for change in overpayment recovery rate, to negotiate a smaller monthly amount. You can get all of these for free at ssa.gov or ask for them by phone. Filing any one of them pauses the collection while they decide. Step 3. And this is the one most people skip. Mark your 90-day deadline on your calendar and act before it. Take the date printed on that letter, count 90 days forward, and write it in big letters somewhere you'll see it. The refrigerator, the bathroom mirror, wherever. Because here is what happens if you skip this step. Once those 90 days pass with no action from you, the withholding begins automatically. Half your check gone every month, and the chance to stop it before it starts is lost. Robert skipped this step. Don't be Robert. And let me leave you with one more piece of honesty, because you deserve the full picture. If you do nothing, and you later stop receiving benefits for any reason, the law still lets them collect. They can take it from your tax refund, from certain state payments, even by garnishing wages if you go back to work. And if a person passes away still owing, Social Security can seek repayment from someone receiving benefits on their record, like a surviving spouse. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because the people who know the rules are the people who keep their money. The good news? If you act in time, almost all of this is fixable. A waiver can erase the debt completely. An appeal can prove you never owed it. Even money they've already taken can be refunded if you win. The whole game comes down to one thing: acting inside that window instead of setting the letter aside. Before you leave, drop a comment below and tell me, did you know about this rule? Just type yes or no. I read every single comment and I'll reply to as many as I possibly can. And if you have a parent, a sibling, or a friend who's on Social Security or Medicare, please share this video with them right now. It could save them $1,200 a month. That share button is right below this video. Use it. It takes 2 seconds and it could protect someone you love. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Here at TaxWise Seniors, I post new videos every Tuesday and Friday covering exactly these kinds of rules. Because they change constantly, sometimes overnight, and you deserve to know about them before they hit your bank account, not after. And in my next video, I'm covering the Social Security earnings limit, the rule that can have your entire payment withheld if you earn even $1 over the line while you're still working. It affects millions of seniors, and most people have never even heard of it until it's too late. Click right here to watch it now. I'll see you there.